to understand the importance of money and why some states have so much of it when some of us are working so hard to make ends meet. We must first slow down and understand the issues that money can solve in parts of our country like Laredo, Texas.
Laredo has a population of around 262,000 people. There are 3 colleges and universities here. A lot of activity, yet Laredo is also the least connected city in the U.S. when it comes to broadband access. Just under a third of the households here have no access to the internet, which makes it one of the city's most pressing issues.
It is important that we have a great signal that's not only consistent, but is able to handle multiple users at once.
Danielle Burns is the tech services librarian at the city's public library system. Naturally, her place of work is a space people frequent to get that connectivity, and she hopes it gets more money to provide it when the state addresses what to do with its extra cash flow.
We have 7 million people that have no connectivity, broadband, if they want it. And then we have another subset that unfortunately, while they have service, it's not very good quality.
Glenn Hager is Texas's comptroller and basically acts as the state's CFO. He says Texas has $27 billion it plans to carry over into its next budget cycle, which is enough money to fund its operations for 62 days. And that's happening across the country. This map shows how many days each of these states could run on only savings. Collectively, the number is 60% higher now than it was more than a decade ago, and it's due in part to 2 things: inflation and pandemic stimulus money.
Part of the state revenues, in addition to the good economy, is really as a result, unfortunately, because we're paying more average daily, and that inflationary pressure has meant higher tax returns because you're paying more every single day, unfortunately, on certain items.
The decision on how to spend some of that extra money will ultimately come down to each state's legislature when it votes on its budget come January. In Texas, Hager says broadband will be one of the issues on the table. But nationally, other issues like tax relief and road and highway infrastructure will be discussed as well. It just depends where that help is needed in each state.
That becomes much more real when you have a potential surplus than when you don't have a surplus.
I'm Dan Grossman.
Thank you for joining us this week for our look at voting in America. Next week, we're focusing on a key issue, and that's extremism. We're talking with a former extremist who is now working to pull people out of the life that he once lived, what he says needs to be done. Until then, from Cambridge, Maryland, I'm Chris Stewart, and this is The Race.